So I'm getting ready to jump into our next Mandalorian episode, and I pulled up this article from Vulture, and it's titled, "So Who's Really Under the Mandalorian's Helmet?" And not a lot of people, I guess, know this yet, but the episode Sanctuary that was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard says that she didn't get to work with Pedro Pascal once in the entire episode. How crazy is that? And the funniest thing about this information is me and Saba have talked relentlessly about seeing these expressions underneath the helmet during Pedro Pascal's performance, and it's not even potentially
even him.
It may not even be him.
Wasted.
It may not even be him.
Wasted talent.
So we've just been speculating. And apparently this guy's related to John Wayne, like he's John Wayne's grandson or something like that.
That's pretty cool.
So that's crazy.
Western.
That's crazy. And apparently Pedro is on Broadway right now doing Shakespeare.
He was in rehearsals doing some King Lear.
Yeah.
You know, it's like translatable skills.
How crazy is that shit? And apparently he's just been coming in and doing ADR. He just does the ADR and they send the voice tracks over and the guy in the suit does most of the work. Now, I don't know about you guys, but as a Star Wars fan, I need to know when Pedro was in the suit and when Pedro was out of the suit.
Me too.
Like, they should almost make him wear a different colored armor when it's not Pedro.
Although, like, Darth Vader was never Earl Jones Jr. in the suit.
Right.
It was like 5 different people, but then again, like, I don't think any of us cared.
Right.
We just wanted his voice.
Right. Good point.
Yeah.
Well, guys, listen, we're just about to jump into this episode. We hope you enjoy it, but let us know what you think about this Vulture article. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So, drop us a note on meanwhile_pod and let's hit the music and get started.
Meanwhile, back on the podcast, 4 colossal nerds named Saba, Chris, Christina, and Frank have set out to take on a great darkness that has enveloped the world of fandom. With their powers of common sense and the strength to take on even the most butthurt Twitter mobs and insufferable comment section trolls, they fight for truth, objectivity, and nuance in the conversation and debate over fictional made-up shit.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Meanwhile, back on the podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Frank.
I'm Saba.
Chris.
This is going to be chapter 5 of our Mandalorian Aftershow called We Have Spoken. Chapter 5 is called Gunslinger of the Mandalorian show. What did you guys feel about this episode?
We saw some familiar places.
Yeah.
Yeah?
The first thing I was
Yeah.
watching with my brother, and as soon as they mentioned it, he was like, "You'll never find a more wretched hive or scum
And villainy.
and villainy."
Oh,
like
love it.
that quote right away.
That's what your brother said?
Right away
Yeah.
he said it, and it took me a second to get it, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
we're on Tatooine."
I like your brother.
Yeah. The fan service buffet has overflowed. Okay?
I didn't
Without
think we
a
were.
doubt.
Not yet. It depends. It depends
I'm
on
sorry,
what
man.
happens in that.
No. But the thing
I'm
is, like,
sorry. You bring us back at Tatooine?
no,
Like-
but the thing is, like, if they never brought us to Mos Eisley, I'd be disappointed. This is
Yeah.
one of those
Yeah,
ones that
yeah.
doesn't apply to that line.
I-
because this is the bounty hunter place, man.
I feel like I wanted to see Mos Eisley. I agree with that.
It was interesting.
It had a different
I
vibe.
I didn't think they were ever going to bring us to a planet we had been to before.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to revisit because I think for the most part in Star Wars we don't revisit planets. Like maybe Clone Wars is different.
I feel like we've gone to Tatooine a few times.
Yeah, Tatooine is one of those ones,
Yeah.
and Coruscant, but those are probably the only
They
two.
should. Yeah. Tatooine showed up in Rebels. Coruscant had been a major setting for Clone Wars, the series.
So I liked it. So this episode opens with a fight scene in space, which you guys are referring to as a dogfight.
It's a dogfight, man.
No, they
It's
called it a
dogfight.
dog fight, and then Christina thought like she missed the dog fight, like a real dog.
They changed my notes. I was like, "There's no dogs. You guys are messing with me."
like what
Yeah,
was the
dog
scene?
I don't know slang. Okay, I'm like,
Man, that's like really wow. You really got that down, Frank. That's strange.
yeah, that was
Careful,
really
Saba,
good.
pee on your leg.
Yeah.
Okay,
what
that's
happened?
moving
Frank,
on.
we don't want to know what happens
Yeah.
in your bedroom.
You know what's really funny though? With this scene, it's interesting because the bounty hunter's chasing him and he's like, I can take you in hot or cold.
Yeah.
He's
It's
like-
And he's
"This
like,
is my
no,
line."
it's
He's like, that's my line.
Hey, do you guys recognize that move? Where they got that from?
Where
See,
he
it's funny
stops?
because I actually pointed out the ship looks exactly like the Serenity. That's the Crazy Ivan. So Wash
Oh,
pulled
the
that
crazy Ivan.
Wash pulled that move against the Reverse
Right,
in
right,
Serenity.
right,
Where he like
right.
flips one of the engines
Right.
and turns around and flies the other way.
Oh,
Right.
Like, yo,
cool.
man, he's copied the Crazy Ivan.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that was pretty cool execution.
All right, so they get into this fight scene. His ship gets a bit damaged. His fuel line starts leaking. He puts on emergency systems, and he has to make an emergency landing on the first planet that he comes to,
Which is
Tatooine.
Which is the plot of Phantom Menace. Do you guys remember? Exact plot.
It's actually true.
And
I didn't think about that.
So
There's
he
a lot
lands.
of emergency landings happening on Tatooine.
On Tatooine.
Yeah.
How is it
It's
ever?
maybe
Maybe
a
it's just
central
where it's
location.
positioned.
Yeah.
It's like being the gas station off the busy highway.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Yeah.
It's all about location, right?
Yeah. So many
Location,
dogfights happening outside of
location.
Tatooine.
But yeah, so he does end up landing, and we find out it is like
Eisley.
Mos Eisley, Tatooine.
Awesome.
Can I just tell you something? Mando is like a very bad dad.
Yeah.
So
well, we
far.
find that out. So we meet Peli
Oh, he's-
Pelimoto.
Yep, Pelimoto.
And she
Played by
right
Amy
away knows
Sedaris.
everything that happened to his ship, which kind of
Yeah.
annoyed me. I was like, "Come on, there's no way you can tell
Yeah.
from like the carbon markings on his ship that."
Well,
he
maybe
was-
she's just one of those mechanics that, like, is literally, as soon as they see somebody who they can kind of fuck over, pull
Maybe
into the
she's-
bay, they're like, oh, you know what? You need a new Johnson rod. We need to get you a new Johnson rod.
She's like a force sensitive mechanic.
There you go.
She only uses the
There you
force
go.
for her.
I
building
thought she was
There
kind
you
of
go.
funny, but my problem was like, I don't know if it was just me, but she kind of talks too earthy. Is
I
it just
found that
me?
with the
She was
character in
definitely
episode 2
earthy.
as well.
Like she was
Yeah.
just talking in full on lingo.
She definitely was earthy.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
And like we've been to Mos Eisley. Don't tell me that's how
we
they
don't
talk
know.
there.
We don't know
'Cause
where
that's
she's
not how they talk
from.
there.
We don't know where she's from
No,
originally.
but still,
Maybe
like,
she's from Earth.
No, but like Star Wars has a specific feel, and it's like when you pull Earth jokes, like it doesn't. I mean, like Earth like things, it feels weird.
She's supposed to be a little bit British or something, right?
Yeah, there was something a little off about that, but again,
Good, it's
the
not just
big
me.
thing for me, so he doesn't want the droids to like be working on
The
that.
droids
Yeah.
are back.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
get the fact we get it, Mendo. You hate droids. Like, okay.
Is there gonna be a backstory? Like,
I
he
feel
got,
like there will
backstory.
be.
the B2 droid attacking
Yeah,
his
B2.
the droids attacking his
family.
his family, right?
'Cause his
Okay.
family
Oh,
died
yeah.
like a
Oh,
droid
okay,
attack.
okay,
So
okay,
I
okay.
think that it makes sense because they can just be controlled to do whatever. Obviously,
Word.
these are just mechanic droids,
Yeah.
but it could like obviously
Yeah.
create some sort of scar.
Pit droids.
Yeah. So he asks her to
I
work
like
on
these
it.
droids. They're one of my favorites in the world of Star Wars. I really like them.
Hit the nose.
So he doesn't
Yeah,
have
hit
enough.
the nose. Yeah.
He doesn't have enough money to pay for the job, so he has to go look for a bounty job.
And
So
he leaves a
leaves.
sleeping child in this little
This guy.
thing and to
Well,
just
in
like
his defense,
wake
he's
up.
50 years old, so
Oh my lord!
He's
Oh my.
essentially a baby.
He's essentially like about 1-ish,
I know.
almost 2
I-
in like
I know,
toddler
I know,
years.
I know.
But like he just like goes off.
You know what I really miss? The floating crib. Did you guys
Nah,
miss that?
that's so
That thing was so
convenient.
I
It
miss
was
the floating
trashed.
crib too.
They
It was
trashed
I know,
it.
but like
He should buy another one.
I know.
get another one.
Yeah.
That
I
was
wonder-
cool. He like moves it with his like.
Yeah,
I
like the
wonder if
floating
it's like
crib.
real like strollers and they come with like different attachments, like one for the car,
Yeah.
one for the
A
ship.
blaster
Well,
on the side
It's
of
true
it.
because Baby Yoda kind of just like walks beside him in a lot of scenes,
Yeah.
and it's
Now he
like,
does.
how
Yeah.
slow do you have to walk for
I know.
Baby Yoda
I
to
know.
keep up with you?
Get a crib, goddamn. That thing was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to slow him down a bit. So that's why he left Baby Yoda on the plane. He had no choice. He can't be slowed
Yeah.
down in this moment.
Yeah,
and,
so-
and he's going to a bar. He goes to the first bar he comes across.
The
so-
cantina.
Yeah.
Less
Of all the
lively
places.
than last time.
It's a lot less lively. There's nobody in there. It's daytime. There's like a few people in there. So the robot. and
There's, like,
one
regulars.
guy.
No one's playing music in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's
Yeah,
the
there's
drums?
no band.
But it is good to be back. I will say.
Yeah.
It's good to see that place
Yeah.
again.
They nailed the feel too.
Oh, they nailed it.
And,
Is he
and
sitting
we
in the-
missed we
Oh,
missed the helmets. There's helmets.
Oh
of the
yes, the
Empire.
stormtrooper helmets
was
on the
cool.
pikes.
That was cool. I
Yeah.
did like that.
I
Yeah,
like
I was
that
kinda
because it
like-
gave the indication that Tatooine was like where the fucking the Empire got their
Yeah.
butts kicked.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's almost kind of like poetic in a sense.
And we
I
didn't
really
know we
like
were
that.
on Tatooine yet, so I was kind of still wondering, like, oh shit, what planet are we on? Why are they putting people's heads on spikes? And like, are the heads still in the helmets? I was like,
I was
had
wondering
so
if the
many
heads were there
questions.
too.
Yeah, the dogs ate them.
Yeah.
The dogs ate them.
So I was
No,
like,
the
that would
helmets were a little
smell.
bloody, and like
I
there was
know,
like
I know.
stuff hanging
I
out
know.
of them. I'm like,
I know.
Right.
when did these people die? Are these heads still in there? Are they decaying? Like,
If they were gonna do that anywhere, it'd be Mos Eisley. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is a legit like.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
he goes into the bar. He asks for jobs. The robot says, "There's nothing. There's no jobs." And then we get introduced to Toro, and Toro
With
says,
the most cartoony, roguish foot on the
He's a
I tell
dude,
you?
on the
bro.
table.
He wishes he
dude,
was
bro.
Han Solo.
"Yeah, he's
Yeah.
trying
He
to
wishes
be.
Han
He's
Solo.
trying to be Han
but it actually
Solo."
works this
He was
time
like a
because-
dude bro version of Han Solo. That's what he
and
was.
the thing is,
Toro
he was
Calican.
sitting in the same spot.
Same booth.
Yeah,
Same booth.
Same booth.
Yeah.
The Greedo and Han shootout.
It's like he
Yeah.
heard about it.
But
He's kind of
Same
dressed
booth.
like Han Solo too.
Yeah, he's a Han
and he's
Solo
wearing a
wannabe.
chain. He has a chain.
He's a dude, bro.
It's as if he saw the movie and then he's like, "Oh,
I'm gonna dress like that.
But it works because he is a wannabe.
Yeah. Well, he admits as much. He's like, I want to be part of the guild, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm really trying to get into the guild. I need my first capture or my first kill or whatever, right?
Yeah, and
So-
he shows his bounty puck, and he's chasing an assassin named Fennec.
Fennec Shard.
Fennec Shard, yeah.
Yeah.
And Fennec Shard is reputable, well known, and Mendo
Yeah.
is like, wow, you're going after her. I don't know, man. I don't want that one.
Well, I think he wants something like easy too. He's like this, and also it's like funny they gave that guy that girl for like his first one.
Yeah.
I feel like no one wants to take her on.
Yeah,
It could have been another scenario where like multiple people had trackers to it, and they were just like, oh, whatever,
Yeah.
sure, go.
It was a little bit weird that Mando was like, "I don't want this one." That's out of character.
it's also
Like,
this is
Mando never says
this is
that.
the weird thing for me because when he was like, I don't want it, he's like, and then he's like, I'll give you all my money. Also, like, this is my first one. Like, I really need the help. I can't do it alone. And he's like, okay, I'll help you. And I was like, is it for the money or is it because he can't do it alone?
He does that every episode. It's like, what's your motivation?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like he needs a certain thing and he'll say no first,
It's
no
a ve-
matter what. I don't know why.
It's a very cowboy thing, right? Like in the Western films, it's very
Yeah.
cowboy.
But you can't just
kind
do it
of
because
like-
of that.
You can't put your fingers on my motivations. You know what I mean? Like that's kind
Right.
of a very cowboy
Or
thing to
maybe
do.
it was because he didn't want to split the money. So maybe he didn't
Maybe.
want to go after an assassin for half the bounty.
Maybe, but then again, like it may just be a respect thing too. Like he may know her by reputation, and you just like I don't want to
True.
fuck with this human being, right? I don't know.
And we
He
find
seemed
out
a little intimidated by her. I got that vibe.
Yeah.
which is like weird because like that's not within his character.
No.
I don't know. And it felt like he was like pulling one on like what's his face? He's the forgettable character.
Toro
Toro.
Calican.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him the forgettable character. And he's just like, yeah, like you, like it's like as if he was just like lying to the kid, and then the kid's like, oh, I'll give you the entire bounty. It's like, sure, I'll take it now, even though the episode before he didn't care about the money. I don't know, whatever.
I hear you.
All right, so we're unsure about his motivations, but he agrees to take the job because he needs the money to pay for the repairs to his ship.
Oh, so it's important to note that Fennec is an assassin for the Huts, not just for the Huts, but for the
Yeah.
gangsters.
Yeah.
And here comes the world building that
the
I like
crime
with
syndicates.
the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I love these affiliations with these like properties that we know.
Yeah.
It's like like I love that they mentioned the Huts.
I know
fanboyed
that too. I was like really surprised they did, but I do like that because that's what I kind of want with the show is like you're figuring out the parts of the world you don't see,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is really interesting.
yeah,
World
I do
build
like
me for
that
sure.
they're kind of just tying everything together. So.
Yeah.
Continue, Christina. Sorry.
All right, so we go back to the ship at this point. We see Baby Yoda coming out, but we don't know it's going to be Baby Yoda. Pelly starts panicking that something's on the ship.
Oh my lord!
She goes and grabs guns. She's all ready for something like giant to come off of the ship.
Tells the droids to go get her blaster rifle.
Yeah, and so the droids have blasters. She has a blaster. They're ready for like a showdown, and then it's just like little Baby Yoda. And then we see Pelly's heart melt, and Pelly goes into like mom mode.
Can I tell you, I would be Pelly in this episode. Like I would do that.
Yes,
I
you would.
could.
Well, like
Plus, I'm
someone
good with
had
fixing
to.
shit. Like I could do that and just like hold him, you know. And I also,
So is that your character for the show?
Yeah, I'm Belly.
Are you gonna go all in
No,
on
I'm
this
Baby
character?
Yoda, actually.
Guys, I have to tell you this story. So,
Okay.
as you know, I've moved into a new place, and the other morning I come down for breakfast, and my roommate is sitting at the table watching something on her laptop, and I can faintly hear Werner Herzog's voice in the background, and I'm like, the only thing Werner Herzog is doing right now is The Mandalorian. I'm like, this roommate like is not watching the fucking Mandalorian. There's no fucking way, right? And as I'm pouring my cereal, I'm like, you're not watching the Mandalorian, are you? She's like, yeah. I was like, I didn't know you were a Star Wars fan. She's like, I'm not. I'm like, okay, well, why are you watching the Mandalorian? She's like, oh my god, Baby Yoda. Baby
Okay,
Yoda.
like,
Baby Yoda this.
has
Baby
the power
Yoda that.
to change people's opinions on
I think
things.
Baby Yoda should run for fucking president.
I
like
mean,
that's
yeah.
what I think needs to happen right now.
Fucking commercial.
Dude,
is what Baby
it's
Yoda is.
insane.
So
It's
Disney
fucking
did good.
insane.
Yeah.
They got a character that made the show marketable, and they're drawing
Ryan
in
Johnson
audiences
wishes the porgs was
based
this.
on Baby Yoda.
That
They
is
know
true.
what they're doing.
No, without a doubt, they like they've.
And
The
Disney
ba-
has the
ba-
cute thing down. Disney knows how to
Oh,
make like
yeah.
adorable characters
for
that women
sure.
love.
For sure, for sure.
It's
But like,
arguable whether it's a good idea to like hinge an entire show on marketing instead of making good
no,
writing.
I
They're,
agree
they're
with
getting
that.
viewers.
I completely agree
Whatever.
with
It's
that.
still
and,
not a. It's still,
and like close to the end of the conversation, I said to her, I said, if you really like Baby Yoda, why not just get a bunch of pictures of him and like put him up everywhere or whatever, right? Like that makes more sense than watching a fucking 10-episode TV show just to see fucking Baby Yoda.
And
like,
what was your
there's
roommate's reaction to you? I'm curious.
she thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
and now I'm looking for a new place.
And
No.
now we're gonna do that. But I do think it's interesting. Well, but
She like
also,
closes her laptop and leaves the room.
well,
I didn't make her feel bad about it.
the thing with Mandalorian as well is I think it's like right now the number one stream show. So
It
like
is,
on top
yeah.
of like Baby Yoda, like people tend to want to see like what something's about. Like I'm really like to read. So when a book is getting a lot of good like reviews and people are
Yeah.
like really reading it, I'm like, oh, I should take a look and see what that
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
even if it might not be
Right.
something.
Right.
Trending
Yeah, if
culture,
I
for
keep
sure.
seeing memes about something, I'll like watch it.
Yeah, but if you're not even a Star Wars fan,
well, I
like if
wasn't-
you're not even like a fan of this world, it like I'm not trying to say it's a bad thing. I'm
was
just
just
trying to say
surprising.
it's puzzling.
Well, it's like
very
Rick and
puzzling.
Morty is so huge, so I checked out a few episodes of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And like it's okay. I'm not like a
Sure.
huge fan of it, but I don't mind
Excuse
it.
me? Rick
Sure.
and Morty is the
Okay.
great.
Sure,
Well, I
sure,
watched
but
like
there
the
wasn't.
first 3 or 4 episodes.
Sure,
It was
but there
okay.
isn't one singular character where everybody is like literally fucking losing
No,
their
yeah.
shit
I love
over.
it.
And it's
Yeah.
not,
Right?
and it's not like people who watch Rick and Morty they're not falling for some marketing.
Well,
right?
it does.
The show's good.
There is
right?
marketing behind it though, because it's basically like an analogy for Back
that's-
to the Future. So if you love Back to the
No,
Future,
no, no.
then
But the show's good, and people are raving about how the show's good. Not there's
Like
a
they're
meme.
not hinging it
it's
on a
intelligent.
character.
There's not
It is
a-
intelligent.
Yeah.
and not
it's
even a character,
sciencey,
a
which I
meme.
like.
Like he's just
Does any
out there.
does anybody remember if Slimer was this popular or
Slimer?
BB-8?
Slimer was so popular.
Was Slimer as popular as Baby
the
Yoda?
Marshmallow Man? The Marshmallow
who's
Man was so
Slimer?
popular.
Well, BB-8 isn't as popular.
Ghostbusters.
But
Oh, Ghostbusters! I got
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
What about BB-8?
BB-8
Like,
wasn't as popular, but it was the same thing, same methodology.
same feedback
I,
too.
like BB,
Yeah.
I would say was more popular than like the Porgs. Like the Porgs was like really like a big fail. I think, in
Yeah.
my opinion. To me, like my favorite droid to this day is R2D2.
Oh no!
I'll never
yeah.
get over
I
R2D2.
like the
I
droid
love
from
R2.
Rogue One.
I fucking
that,
love
that droid
R2.
from Rogue One
Oh
was
yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
was Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, I have like
K2SO.
yeah,
K2SO,
I have a
yeah.
model of him.
That's
Yeah.
and I bought that.
Yeah, he was funny as shit.
Cool.
You know what? I think it's like obviously it's the cuteness combined with the power of the internet because like all you have to do is like post a photo. That's it, right? You post a photo and it just fucking snowballs from there, right?
I don't know if Disney, like I think Disney knew that it was going to be popular. I don't know if they expected it to be like this because it could really be like a hit or miss thing with the Baby Yoda. He's not even like Baby Yoda as well
not
as the
Baby
thing.
Yoda.
It's just like the only name we have for him.
But we don't have a name for him
But
yet,
it is
so,
interesting
yeah.
that like it is a lot of people is watching it is now hinging on that.
Yeah.
But if it gets them into a cool series and maybe they'll want to go see like the other Star
Yeah.
Wars stuff, like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
But I do hope that this like positive feedback doesn't make them get even lazier in writing.
Oh.
like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like because you're essentially writing off this viral like
Right.
culture. Like oh, let's bring you a second season with the same shit. Let's not. Let's deep.
Baby
Right.
Groot was
deeper.
this popular. That's the other time.
Do you
we
think
saw
Baby
this
Groot
kinda
was this popular? I
I think Groot was popular. I think Baby Yoda has surpassed him though.
I think
Yeah.
Baby
Hell
Baby
yeah.
Yoda surpassed Baby Groot.
Yeah.
I think
There's
so
a lot
too.
of sad Groot memes out there actually about like Groot being sad about like Baby
Is
Yoda.
it
that's
you,
funny.
Saba, that has a cutting board that says "I was Groot"?
No, I have a cutting board that says it has the Millennium Falcon on it, and it says "May the fromage be with you."
I like that.
I saw the baby Groot, and it was so sad. It's like I was Groot because it's a wooden cutting board.
that's dark.
That's good.
I don't like that.
That's dark
I
as
don't
shit.
want that cutting board.
I don't want it either.
That's
That was
dark
so
as shit.
I like cried when Groot died.
That's like Soylent Green. It's made of people. Yeah, that's what that is. That's a dated. That's a dated reference. by the way.
When Mando and Toro part ways from the bar, Toro has to go get bikes.
Wait, before this, there's a stupid I could point out all the bad writing in the show. But like there was he had the fob, and he's like, okay, why don't you give me the fob and I'll meet you. He smashes it and he goes, I have it memorized. Motherfucker, it's a live tracking device, not a goddamn coordinates.
Yes.
The fuck does that?
Also, that's very weird. I don't like that. I was like, I would mistrust that person right
That
away.
made no sense at all.
I didn't get that.
I get it. It's like, oh, I'm not just a chump. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well,
but like that's not how fobs work.
No, that's not how fucking tracking
I
devices
thought
work.
that he did get coordinates as part of the not the tracking
puck?
device, but the puck. Yeah, maybe the puck had
the puck
coordinates
just
in
has
it.
information. The fob traces you,
You
and
know,
it's a
I get
live
it.
tracking.
I get it, but maybe he knew her last location based on the puck.
Yeah,
or
or
she-
something
yeah.
But
mentioned
like
in
that's
the
not how
puck.
you bounce.
Yeah.
No.
Also, it was
It's
suspicious.
stupid.
To me, it was like really suspicious that
I
he
wouldn't
would
go
do
on
that.
that mission anymore. I would be like, we don't
So-
have a fob.
so
Fuck you.
I don't know
weird.
why. I don't know why they just did. He just didn't put it back in his pocket and say, "No, I'll hold on to it."
Problem
Yeah.
fixed. Like,
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, no. But then it's funny because
He is supposed to be this like rebellious idiot.
Yeah.
So.
Rebellious idiot.
I mean, that's basically what he is.
Yeah.
But back at the ship, I really like when he goes back to the ship, and then like Peli just like gives him like a dressing down. Like, you don't leave a child
Yeah.
alone. Like, what are you doing? Like, you have to like feed it, you take care of it, and everything else. And then in his head, he's like, oh, I've got a babysitter. Like, I've got someone to watch this child.
Well, she did say she was going to charge you more for it. So
Yeah.
she's like, fine, I'll take care of your kid, but I'm going to charge you extra.
She's a capitalist. It's fine.
So that's fine. So they get the bikes and they head
What do you think of the
Oh,
bikes?
the speeder bikes were great.
Yeah.
I like
my
that.
Lord.
I like that.
You know what I love?
I love speeder bikes.
I love it when it's stationary and they get on
Yes.
it and it bounces.
And it
I'm like,
bounces.
yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, small details get me.
Total fanboy moment
Yes.
for sure. Yeah.
All right,
Love
so they start heading out and they stop on top of a sand dune and they're kind of like surveying the land to try to figure out what's going on. Or well, Mando stops because Toro was going to keep going.
Of course, an idiot.
And Mando goes,
Sorry.
"Hey, don't you see what's ahead? Like over
Oh,
there."
also, I feel like sorry if I may interrupt.
That's okay.
Like I feel like that was a like that when they were racing on the sand, that felt a little like could have been animated more.
Way
Like,
better.
Like their sand was barely
Yeah,
moving.
Yeah, that's
way
what I was
better.
thinking.
It felt very
I
amateur.
thought that too. I
And
remember.
look at the budget for that show. That's no excuse. That
Yeah.
should have been fucking.
Yeah, I
million
thought the
an
exact same
episode.
thing
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
sand because I was like, shouldn't there be like more
More.
movement on the sand? I was like,
Displacement. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
No,
like, not
I
enough
agree.
wind when they're like talking to each other in normal voice.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to shout. Like you're. Anyways.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I thought
totally
that
agree.
too.
I fucking totally agree. Yeah, and they run into the banthas, or they can see the banthas and the sand people
And people.
Yeah.
from the dune.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Tuscan.
And then,
Tusken
so they're
Raiders.
trying to figure out what to do, but then of course they're Mendo's just like, well, turn around. The Tusken Raiders are right behind
Yeah.
you, so
And then
you can tell them yourself.
They do a little bit of a.
Yeah.
Wait, I can
So
do
they
one
try to
better.
negotiate.
Yeah, I did it. I nailed it.
Mine was better.
Yeah,
So they try to
probably.
negotiate with Tusken
Yeah.
Raiders. Apparently, Mendo knows their sign language or whatever.
Good for
some
Mando.
reason.
Good for him.
Yeah, but that was like a weird throwaway scene that never comes into play. It was just like, oh yeah,
Maybe to show
here's
you, like-
another a fanboy moment for you.
I guess it's to show like Mando's like well versed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
see,
language.
it's
And
supposed to be
again-
smarter.
And it does kind of so it does contradict the Star Wars canon a little bit, because like Obi-Wan didn't try and negotiate with the Sand People.
Yeah,
right?
no one does.
Nobody does.
Yeah, but
Anakin
hide from them.
murdered all of
Well,
them. right?
Mendo said they think this is their land, so we can't just cross through it. They're gonna try to kill us if we just try
Yeah.
to cross through
I
their
get
land.
that,
Like
but
it's gonna be easier if
I
we
get
just
that,
try
but
to
it
negotiate
contradicts
with
because like they don't like they took Shmi Skywalker prisoner,
Yeah.
right? Well, they didn't take her prisoner; they kidnapped her, right? And they basically tied her up and tortured her for years, right? So it kind of contradicts the Star Wars canon a little bit.
Well,
I
but
think-
it kind of makes sense if Mendel heard that story that he wants to be cautious. He's scared of these guys.
No, but I think
Yeah.
the point is like there's no negotiating with these people. You're like,
Yeah, that's
you're
the
like
point.
you're like speed away as fast as you
Yeah,
can.
they're savage.
But, like,
they're
I guess-
supposed to be savages,
Well, no.
but maybe
So that was Mendel's
They're
point.
trying to do
Mendel's
something
point
maybe
was
it's
like,
a PC kind of over.
I
Yeah.
kind of
well, I
thought
think
of that
Mendel's
too.
point
Yeah.
was like, oh, everyone else kind of never saw it their way. I see their point of view.
Right.
Therefore, I think I can negotiate.
Yeah.
with
That's
them,
a very
kind of thing.
that's a very modern day Western
They're
movie
just misunderstood.
in
They're
terms
not-
of how we
yeah,
see
yeah,
indigenous people.
Okay,
That's what that is,
okay.
in my opinion.
So,
But yeah,
but
Yeah.
yeah.
They speed away.
So while he tries to negotiate with them, he gives away. It's also establishing a power dynamic between
Yeah.
Mendo and Toro,
Oh,
which
for sure, for
kind of
sure.
already was established. Like
Yeah.
it was already established that Toro's
Yeah.
kind of this hot-headed idiot. But
yeah.
So
And they trade the
he
binoculars.
trades Toro's new binoculars for passage through the land.
Yeah.
Um,
And they call them binocs. They don't even call them binoculars.
That's like me.
yeah,
Like, I
it's
like to shorten
Saba.
words.
They took her slang.
I shorten words all the time.
Let's get this
I like
ep
that.
going, guys. Let's get this ep going. Yeah.
That's an app. This is
Yeah,
an
yeah.
app.
She called it
guys.
an app.
I do call an app because it is an app.
And so somehow, without a tracking device, they come
Yeah.
to the location where Finnick
I know that's interesting.
They were
is.
hunting her. They were following her tracks. and
She was
there's all
hunting
kinds of
them.
shit.
They were
Yeah.
hunting her. She starts
Yeah.
shooting at them. They narrowly escape. Mendo gets shot in the Beskar. Toro doesn't get shot, but realizes he could have
Doesn't
died
have
if he
Beskar.
doesn't have Beskar. And they hide behind a sand dune that's on the lower ground. So she has the high ground. They have the low ground.
And we all know
And-
about that high ground.
Yeah. Learn,
Yeah.
people, learn.
And
Get
they
your arm chopped
realize,
off.
they realize she's an assassin. She has a great gun. We have to cross a lot of range to get to her. We
It's
don't
got
have
a
a
sniper
chance
rifle. It's got some
during
serious
the
fucking
day.
range on it. Yeah.
So we had to wait for sundown. So they
When
chill.
Mando's sleeping and then he doesn't wake up, do you think he's just like
Testing him?
testing him?
I think so.
Or like is
Oh,
he?
he was testing him at points. Yeah.
yeah.
It seemed like he was awake. I
But it
feel
was
like he
also
didn't
comic
trust
relief.
Toro to fall asleep, or he didn't trust Toro to keep watch. He probably stayed up the whole time.
Yeah, for
he
sure.
was never asleep
Yeah.
to begin with.
Doesn't trust that motherfucker.
But okay, I have a problem with this too because they're in the desert for 2 days and they have no water or
Yeah.
food.
At least we don't see it. Yeah, for sure.
That is
What the
very,
fuck?
also, deserts at night are
They're
get
so
very cold.
so cold.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
learned that from Breath of Fire.
I mean, he's probably fine, but he should be dead.
It seemed a little off, but anyway, so they sleep it off. They
I
wait
learned that
for
from
nightfall.
Las Vegas. So.
They jump on their bikes and try to cross.
I like their plan though.
Yeah, their
Yeah,
plan
it was a
was
good plan.
great.
It was a good plan.
Their plan was great. The
So they
flares.
they
the flares
cross
were cool.
over to where she is. Of course, she's not asleep either because assassins don't need to sleep.
No
Yeah,
one needs to
yeah.
sleep in this world. I
No,
do like.
she just knows that there's somebody on the outskirts wanting to kill her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she
And,
doesn't
and she has
sleep.
really no reason to stay there, but she does anyway.
Yeah.
Like she could just dip, and it's like, oh.
No, well, they're
tracking-
hunting her too.
But like tracking fob's gone. I mean, she doesn't know
She
that.
doesn't
but
know
like,
that. So in her
Yeah.
case, maybe she's like, oh, well, I'll just finish
But
these
it's like,
guys
I'll just
off.
kill. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And big reveal, it's Chun-Li.
yeah.
And-
Ming Na Wen.
Yeah.
She's in a lot of things, actually.
She's Agent May on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's
and
awesome.
Chun-Li. That's all I care about.
But the whole light thing, like how they're like kind
The
of
flares,
deflect
yeah.
the flares, is like really cool until
that was
dope.
a good idea.
until
Yeah.
someone screws it up.
Yeah.
He shoots it like right into the ground, right? Like he really aimed at the ground.
think
It's like,
so.
do you understand the concept?
Of trying to blind your opponent.
He was a
So-
foil, right? He was the Mandalorian's foil.
Yeah.
Like that's who he was playing, right?
And then somehow Mendo gets shot, but Toro gets to the dune first, and Mendo kind of gets stuck in the field, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, they both catch up to her, and they
Wait. There's a kung fu fight that I have
Yeah.
a problem with.
okay.
Goddamn, too kung fu, man. Like I don't know. Like there's only been a very few hand-to-hand fight scenes in Star Wars. One, the notable one is Jango Fett and Obi-Wan, and it did like that scene just took me out of it. I'm like, they're literally kung fu fighting. This is Earth. Like, what the fuck is going
In
on?
the
I don't know.
desert.
It was so weird to me. Like I like the armbar that
What
she
is
did.
the
That was
fighting
fine.
style of the Mandalorian? How should they have fought?
I mean, they fight with.
No, it
whatever
wasn't
means
Mandalorian.
necessary,
It was
but-
it was Fennec and
Fennec had kung
and
fu.
Toro, and
Okay.
she was literally using kung fu. Like if I watch a scene over again, I could probably tell you what style of kung fu it was. But it was just like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, but there could be kung fu in
Yeah,
Star
why can't
Wars.
she-
no,
know
there
kung
can't.
fu?
God damn it, that's
Why
an Earth
not?
thing.
Why
Because
not?
it takes me out of it, and it's just like you literally.
Because he doesn't have any background for kung fu to exist.
Listen,
in
listen, like the way what's his name? Donnie Yen's character. Mm-hmm. Like I forgot his name. I like that character too.
Chirrut Imwe.
Yeah. Like his was right. His was proper. Like it didn't look too kung fu-y. Like they put in a lot of sci-fi with his fighting style.
Right.
But here they didn't even try to disguise it. That was legit like martial arts.
So did they need to make up a style of martial arts?
They
then?
just
have-
needed
they
to
do-
mask it. They just needed to mask it a
They
little
do
bit.
have they do have a Star Wars martial art. It's called Terakasi,
Yeah.
and it's mentioned in Solo, and there was a Star Wars fighting game with Terakasi in it, like Street Fighter style fighting game.
Oh, really?
With Terakasi.
So why didn't they use that?
The Jedi
Maybe
also,
it is Terakasi.
The
Who
Jedi
knows?
also have their own martial art, but let's not get into the nerdy thing.
Let's not get into
minutiae.
that?
Anyway,
We can do that later.
so
I want to
it
do that
ends
later.
in an armbar.
Yeah,
By the
I
way,
was like, damn.
never armbar someone when you know there's a second opponent. Like you just don't do that.
Because you're basically like
That's a dumb
Tying
move,
up
yeah.
all your digits.
That's a dumb move.
So it's apparently it was his plan all along, and after Fennec gets her in an armbar.
They make her cuff herself. So
Oh
that
yeah, well,
was
like
smart.
the Mando like
or not
gets the drop
smart,
on her.
maybe. I don't know, because then they don't have control over how tightly she cuffs herself and all that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if someone told me to cuff myself, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we go on real loose.
Yeah, I'll cuff just one side. You never specified, man. So yeah, continue.
So she cuffs herself, and then they realize they don't have enough transportation to get all three of them back to where they're supposed to go. So Toro and Mendo try to debate about who goes for an additional transport and who stays with Finnick. And Toro's like, well, you're not taking my bounty. Screw you. You go get the extra transport. I'm staying here. So that's what happens.
It's weird that the bounty like that Mando trusts him to stay. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of trust that's built up because like this whole time this character, I don't know if like I liked him at all. Really, like
Yeah.
I didn't even think he's like a type of character who would grow on me. Like maybe he'd grow on me in a few episodes, but from the get go, like he could very well just like go off.
He was like a guy you meet in the bar, which is where they met. So
Yeah, that's true. But this whole
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like really like
He was
oh
a dude,
okay.
bro. That's what he was.
No, and also like, shouldn't he get the speeder? Like, why would Mando like if he was going back for transport?
Well, he was saying it was
Oh, I
his
guess-
puck and his bounty.
Oh, I guess that
so-
wouldn't make sense because how would you drive two speeders?
Right.
That's weird.
Right.
So they spend their second night together there in the
Second night in the desert, no water, no food, still. So,
But then like
but
this
then we
is-
don't know how long the day is on Tatooine. I guess
Probably
so.
long enough to matter.
Well, this is the other thing that got me. So I'm kind of happy they didn't end up doing this. So then we have this like scene where she's like, we've seen this a million times. Like, you know, oh, you could do something bigger. Like there's a big bounty on his head. Like
Yep.
there's not a lot of like bounty hunters. It must be this one.
Yep.
Whatever. And
He's
we've seen the
traveling
scene.
with a child. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, and we've seen this scene played out a lot in like variations of this scene
Yeah,
in like
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of different
It's very
movies.
tropey.
And where then he's like, oh, I should like
Take you up on it. Yeah.
take you up on it. But then he did the thing that I didn't think he was going to do because I didn't see his character painted in that
They
way.
subverted expectation.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, here's my problem. That dude, so his motivations were completely were completely right. It was like, I didn't care about the money. Everybody assumes he cares about the money. He keeps telling everybody I care about the fame, and then he turns on her. He turns on her because she offered him what he wanted, which is fame.
Yeah.
My problem is this motherfucker had better motivations than our main character. Like at least he had a follow through with his motivations, and we still have no idea what Mando's is. Like I don't understand. Is your side character better motivated than this main character?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that's
I
my
agree,
problem.
dude.
So he
No, I
shoots
agree.
her, basically saying, I guess his bounty doesn't
Withdraws
matter,
her.
the prize doesn't matter.
Well, he's going to take the bounty on
Yeah.
her, and then he's going to take the bounty on the Mandalorian.
Well, I thought she had to be alive because Mando said that she had to be alive for
Nope.
them.
No, but like that's possible. But he even just said like, I don't even care about you anymore. I'll just take him. Right? Like he
Yeah.
just leaves her there.
yeah, so
but
he
I'm sure he's
shoots
not
her.
going to. But I'm sure he's not going to pass up the opportunity to collect the bounty on her now that she's dead.
Shoots her.
Right.
He does leave her there. He just
That's
goes back.
That's true. That's true.
And he goes back to where Mendo's ship is. Mendo comes back to where he left Finnick and Toro. He sees Finnick dead, and Toro's not there, and he realizes what happened, and he's like, "Oh shit!" So he goes back to where his ship is, and I
for a
think
baby that's like really like, you know, hot commodity right now, he sure like really leaves
Leaves
his
him
child
to
alive.
get sniped.
Yeah.
yeah, there's people after Baby Yoda.
Well, he almost died in the last episode, right? If it wasn't for Cara Dune,
but he gave up that
Baby Yoda would
baby
be dead.
stroller, so you know he doesn't really have a choice. He can't really take him around.
And it's
Yeah.
probably more dangerous for that baby to be on like
Right.
a bounty trip.
Yeah.
But when we go back, this is the other thing. I don't know. I guess we could have assumed, like he assumed that like the bounty was that baby. And I guess was that logical conclusion that he came to that?
Somebody did say child. Like the girl, Fennec said he has a bounty that everybody wants, and some say it's a child.
Yeah,
she did say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have missed that because then I was like,
Yeah.
okay, is it the logical conclusion he came to? For
And
that?
there's a lot of
And
stories.
Toro
about it.
remembered seeing seeing Baby Yoda when he picked up the bikes with with the bounty hunt with Mando. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get into. Go ahead.
So we go back, and Toro has basically taken Baby Yoda hostage and Pelly hostage, and now Mando has to save the day.
Which he
So-
always does.
And his solution I thought was pretty cool. He used the flare.
yeah.
And like, and even the girl was like, "You're smarter than you look," and then like that's just like whatever. That's classic storytelling. Like you
Yeah.
foreshadow the solution before.
Yeah.
Blinds him, sneaks up on him, very very Firefly style as well. There's a scene exactly like that. Shoots him and then saves Baby Yoda.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah,
And
this
Baby
episode
Yoda's-
did feel very Firefly-esque.
Yeah, didn't it?
I got
Yeah.
like a Firefly vibe off Pelly too.
You remember that episode where he was, like literally holding this exact same? He was holding like somebody hostage, and then Jane like cocks his gun.
Yeah.
He looks over and then Mal
I
shoots
love
him.
Jane in that
Exact
show.
same scenario essentially.
Where did Mando get the money to pay Pelly? Was it from?
he took him from the body,
Toro?
didn't
From
he?
the body, yeah.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Toro. Okay, right.
Because
Okay.
he like pours it like all out.
Yeah.
And stuff, and then
He's like, does this
He's
cover
gotta
me?
he's gotta save money.
I
Yeah.
know. I
Like, he's
know.
gotta
He needs
count
to
money.
budget.
Yeah.
He needs to get an Excel sheet. He needs to budget
Yeah,
it
well,
out.
don't lame him
He's
up.
always down to his last dime.
Yeah. No, it's because he just pours out an entire coin of thing.
all the credits.
Like, why?
All
He
his
just
credits.
wants to feel rich all the time.
He's just gonna take jobs every time he
Yeah.
needs money. Like Jesus.
And apparently Pelly had no objections to taking Imperial credits.
I don't
Well,
think
she was kind of
can.
like, whatever, it's fine. Like, she
Yeah.
just almost died.
She knows offense.
She just wants them to go
Yeah,
away.
but,
at this
everybody else objected to Imperial
That's right,
credits,
yeah.
right?
Well,
Yeah,
some
but-
people do, but I think in a place like Tatooine,
But she said
as
a
like
lot of people
backwater-
don't pay.
That's actually
too,
ironic.
So I
That's
think-
actually ironic because I would think Mos Eisley would be the one that wouldn't find offense for Empire goods, but at the same time, like I guess black market is a black market. You can,
Yeah.
you can do
So
whatever.
are we moving closer to the core worlds right now? Because like if he's still in the Outer Rim,
Yeah, and then moving towards.
is he moving like? I think Tatooine's closer to the core
No.
worlds.
I don't think he is because like he's running from the Empire essentially.
Right.
The remains.
Well,
of
they're
the-
not in the core worlds not
I mean,
anymore.
I mean,
That's where the Republic is.
So do you think he's
that's right.
headed
But
towards
like,
the Republic then?
I would
Maybe,
think.
I don't know.
I would think Outer Rim more like that.
Maybe.
That's where they were the most, right?
Right.
But the Republic would be the place to bring him.
To take
That's-
refuge.
Baby
that is
Yoda.
true.
Yeah,
when
to
you
take
think
refuge.
about it.
Away from the that is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That I think maybe makes sense. That
Away
could
from
be.
the
I didn't
gangsters,
think
but
about
that's
that.
not his element either.
Yeah, I don't think it's element, but maybe because of like this child, he might have to because it's like obviously. But I don't know.
Well, no, okay, but the thing is, like the episode before, he's looking for the place that no one can track him. So he went to that stupid
True.
planet from before because he was like, no one can. I mean, that ended up being a colossal mistake. I don't know if he changed his mind because
Yeah,
of
but
it.
it might be easier to hide in the core worlds from bounty hunters.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. He
So,
could have changed his mind for sure.
Just
It
a
might be
thought.
harder too. It might be easier.
Maybe.
There's more people in the core worlds, and they probably have more ways of communicating with
Yeah.
each other.
True.
I get the idea that the Outer Rim
But
is
they're more
like,
civilized too in the
Yeah, but
core
then you're
worlds.
probably going to need people to protect you, and
Yeah.
you need to know someone.
There's
I
probably
don't-
more surveillance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine
So-
it would
We'll
be
see.
harder.
Any theories on who that was?
Yeah. So that's
stepping up to the body.
So that's the last scene.
Oh,
we
yeah.
see what looks like a Mandalorian, but with spurs, stepping up to the body of Fennec.
Cad Bane.
Yes, give me Cad Bane, please.
Oh my
A lot
God,
of
please
people are
give me
saying
Cad
it's
Bane.
Boba Fett,
No,
but I don't like the
no,
idea of
no,
Boba
no,
Fett
no.
coming
He's dead.
back
He's
from the
dead.
dead.
Cad
yeah.
Bane actually had spurs on his boots.
Oh, that's a
Yo,
good one.
give
I
me
didn't see
Cad
that
Bane,
anywhere.
please.
That's a
Oh,
unique theory.
please be fucking Cad Bane.
Yeah, I'd be so down for Cad
Or
Bane.
Cad
you know,
Bane was
Mendo
one of the
gets
best. Sorry?
Mendo buys spurs.
No. Cad Bane is one of the best
keeps changing
written
his outfit.
villains of all
Absolutely.
time.
Best written
so
characters,
good.
man. He's so good.
So good.
Also,
Yeah, he does, and he has like a little
really big
cowboy
hat.
hat.
Yeah.
And he keeps upgrading hats. He
Yeah.
killed the guy once for his hat, and he's like, I like your hat.
Yeah, I
and
like-
he
I like your
wears
hat,
it.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and he,
I love that
and
guy.
he talks like, he literally talks like a cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's like, how you doing, little lady?
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah.
would be interesting because then what they'd be doing is kind of combining all these canon sort of shows.
That should be the game plan, right?
It should
So
be.
my theory, not theory, but my wish,
Yeah.
Embo. I want Embo. the comeback.
Not with Spurs on his boots, bro.
Yeah, why not? He's got
Embo with Spurs?
Yeah, I guess not. Well,
No.
he's kind of like a ninja instead of a thing.
Oh, I just googled Cad Bane.
Yeah,
he
I
looks
don't think
pretty
he'd have
cool.
Spurs.
Oh, you guys don't know
Yeah.
Cad Bane? Cad Bane's dope.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
I don't think
pretty
he'd have
awesome.
Cad Bane was Clone Wars, yeah.
So
He's a big part of Clone Wars.
so my hope now, because they're Spurs, is that was Cad Bane
Yeah.
and Embo's behind him. Give me Embo, please.
Nice.
So yeah, overall, I don't know. In my opinion, like, I don't like that they're just doing these one-off episodes.
Yeah, I don't like the bottle.
1,
like,
2,
yeah.
1, 2, and 3 wasn't like that. right?
I want serialized television. Okay, I'm sorry, but like, if you're gonna give me an animated series that's that serialized, where you tell these amazing stories that develop, where characters start to really grow, you got to do the same thing with fucking live action, dude. I'm sorry.
To be fair, Clone Wars was pretty episodic as well. There was this grand scheme story.
there
for
was,
sure.
but there was a larger arcing story.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
And-
there is. They're on the run.
Well, the
And-
only
But it hasn't. There's no direction.
The only thing that works right now in terms of a larger arcing story is Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is a MacGuffin. There's something about Baby Yoda that hasn't been revealed yet. Obviously, he can control the Force, 100%. We already know that, right? But there's something bigger about it.
Yeah.
Whether it's like he's the clone of Yoda done by Palpatine
No.
or some shit like that.
No,
No more clones.
We don't know.
No more clones.
Palpatine loves clones,
That
man.
is true.
he
Yeah,
does. But I'm gonna say
Palpatine loves fucking clones.
Yeah, just give us something to connect.
Yeah, I need
like 4 and 5 are just
I need
nothing.
serialized storytelling. That's what I need.
Chapter 4 kind of felt like an episode of Xena to me.
Yeah, I get that feel for sure.
I
Yeah.
will say that this show, I can give you that, like, yeah, it's definitely not like one of those shows where I'm like, oh, like I'm really thinking and like cross-examining everything.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying it. Like, I'm enjoying watching it. I watch it like every week with my
Yeah, I'm
brother,
enjoying
and
it
it feels
too.
like
Yeah.
It does feel like
If
a
you notice-
Western, which I like.
If you notice, like I laugh every time I make a criticism of this show
Yeah.
because it's like I lower my standard every episode.
Yeah, me
with,
too.
Like with every progressive
too.
episode, I'm just like, okay, I guess we'll just go have fun.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then I see it. It's like, how easy would it be to connect episode 5 to episode 4 to episode 3? Like,
But
it's
if Cad Bane
so
comes
easy.
into it, if that is Cad Bane, then this is going to get more interesting. So-
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we're way more hopeful than
Yeah, but,
than we
but-
should be.
sure, but he was a character developed under Dave Filoni too,
In,
right?
in any case, this mystery character,
we'll see
I
how
think,
it
could
goes.
make things more interesting, and we'll tie
We'll see how it
episode
goes.
5 to episode 6.
We'll see how it
There's
goes.
going to be a connection there.
Guys,
so-
So my biggest like pretty much my biggest butt hurt right now is I gave episode 4 like whatever, like a bad review in my opinion, but because 1, 2, and 3 were connected, I was hoping for that. But now if you look at the trajectory, it just seems like sporadic episodes that are self-contained that really, because like the beginning of episode 5 and the end of episode 5, he was exactly in the same place. He was on the run, like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm afraid of, is that every episode is just going to be this thing that he just...
But I like how we get to meet characters that don't necessarily stay with us. Like it
Yeah,
feels
me
more
too.
like a quest that way,
I
or a
like that, yeah.
journey. Like I don't want every character we meet to become part of our journey. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to say bye to
Yeah,
some
like
of the
Cara
people.
Dune, right?
Yeah,
I like the fact that Cara Dune got introduced and got
Yeah.
sent off.
Cara
I
Dune
like
will be
that.
back, though.
Yeah.
I think she'll be back too.
Yeah.
But I like that we parted ways for a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like
yeah.
it just feels more real that
agree,
way.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just progression. Just give me some
Okay,
progression.
cool. So we ready to sign this one off, guys?
Yeah, I think that's
so.
it.
I think guys at meanwhile_pod at our Instagram, let us know what you guys think of this episode or what this series.
Yep.
Like, do you like the way it's going? Do you kind of share the same feelings as some of us here, or do you think like, no, I'm like totally good with this? Like, we'd love to know.
or you're
my
just
thoughts are.
satisfied with lots of baby,
Baby
Yoda.
Yoda.
Or if it's just all about the baby
Maybe
Yoda.
it's just all about him.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Baby Yoda has the power to literally
Glue us all.
catapult this show
Yeah.
into multiple seasons
With
by
great
itself.
power comes great responsibility.
that terrifies me because like they could literally be like, let's just get the shittiest writers we possibly can. Just
Yeah,
put
it
Baby
terrifies
Yoda.
me.
Okay, here's the thing. It
into
is
the show.
it is definitely something that's happening a lot right now with Baby Yoda, but it's a shtick that cannot propel
sustain,
multiple
yeah.
seasons. I can
Let's
promise
hope
you
so.
that. I don't think it can. I think it is.
Yeah, I don't
for
think
now.
it can either. But the question is, will they think that?
Okay,
Right.
that's another.
Yeah,
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 if they,
right?
that
So-
could happen.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're hopeful.
Yeah,
Pessimistically hopeful. That doesn't make
I'm
any
a little
sense.
bit more hopeful than
I
some
still like the
people.
vibe
I'm
of the
hopeful too.
show. I
Me too.
like the Western
I'll be,
Yeah.
Me too.
aspect to it. I think they could do better episodes and see what happens.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little bit more like Firefly.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay, so this has been Christina.
Frank?
Saba.
Chris.
Bye, guys.
Later,
Peace,
dudes.
guys. Peace.